Alright, here it is, the Patreon announcement video. So, this is the patron server world. It's only in single player right now because it's not up on a server. That will happen October 2nd. So, October 2nd is the date to be. That's when the payments should have gone through on Patreon, and then from that list I can go through and whitelist all you guys. So as of today, it is September 13th, and so that gives people about 18 days or so. And I wanted to make this video running through a list of different things that I'm going to talk about. So basically, obviously, it's $5 per month through my Patreon to get on. And I'm going to kind of get this topic out of the way right away. Thank you, Danernet, for leaving a comment in the last video on other Minerva members' Patreon should count towards this. And I thought about this a lot because I really liked that idea, but it's kind of an organizational disaster. So first off, not any Minerva member can just kind of join the server with all their $5 a month patrons and just immediately expect them to get whitelisted on the server. You kind of need to work up to that. It's also not really like, for example, like a new member to the server who hasn't really grown in the community so much yet. It's not really their place to be kind of handing out spots on our Patreon world. And it would also be implied that that $5 from their patron would go towards the server, which would basically, in all realism, would just be my personal PayPal account. So really, it's just easiest if the server is paid for through my Patreon, so that all the finances are dealt with me, and I can just kind of keep it as simple as possible. Maybe in the future we can work out like certain members doing it. Frankly, not a lot of Minerva members have YouTube channels, and not a lot of people even have patrons, but I'm going to kind of deal with this on a person-to-person basis and continue as we go on. So now that that's out of the way, the whitelist will update on the 2nd of every single month, which is once again the same reason we're starting on the 2nd of October. So on the 2nd of every month, once per month, the whitelist will be updated. If you pledge on Patreon on like October 3rd, I think I can still pay out up to like the 5th or something, but I think you need to become a patron before that time. So, sorry if you guys might have to wait 29 days, but just kind of shop smart, I suppose. I also wanted to mention that I can whitelist anybody I want, so this will include various Minerva members, or if ever we have a special guest for some kind of video, or I have a friend or whatever, they'll kind of be the VIP members. Certain patrons might be elevated to a VIP or operator status, and then they might not have to pay their $5 per month, but as before, this will be a person-to-person basis, so I'm not going to make some kind of blanket rule because I just kind of need to feel and get to know people, and if there's someone who's active and friendly and someone I come to trust, I'll talk to them directly. Anyone can be removed with cause without refund. So that's kind of something I hope I won't have to do, but if somebody's like griefing the server or causing a lot of drama, like he's just kind of poisoning the community, because that's what I want this to be. I want the people who join this Patreon server to become friends, to work together, build stuff together. Maybe you want to work on your own personal base. That's completely fine. If somebody walks in and blows it up, that's grounds for getting banned. I mean, that kind of thing's just not cool. And I'm not going to have a running list of rules and whatnot. Like if a duplication glitch comes out and somebody exploits it, what we're going to do about that, I guess we're just going to have to deal with in-house and kind of deal with that as it comes. The reason I'm kind of staring at these witch huts is my next point. The seed and jar file. So jar file is basically like the vanilla thing. So like whenever you play Minecraft, just out of the box, if you download the software, you'll be playing on a vanilla client. I am on an Optifine client. So Minerva runs on a custom jar. Whenever we log in fact, I think we still are suffering from some data loss, and I'm uploading that world as I'm recording this. But if you hit tab right here, you can see the TPS. And we also have one player sleeping, little things like mobs and the despawn radius disappear before they're ticked, so it's not as laggy. And then a few other couple improvements, like we fixed the brewing stand glitch before Mojang did, and I mentioned the one player sleeping. You'll lose your XP when you die, even if you have Optifine. We have a scoreboard cycle command, these kinds of things. And I think the scoreboards will be integrated in the jar file itself. I might talk to LaFlossie about that if we can get in touch with him. That way we will be able to have the scoreboard cycle on the right. I will set these up by hand as command blocks as kind of a safety, so you guys can have all of the scoreboards that Minerva has and maybe more, and then we can add more in the future if everybody wants. Just know that if we ever have to add scoreboards late, I will have to update every single person's data. because it's not directly linked to the statistics. Next, so anybody can remove if they're causing trouble, and that will be without refund. I didn't quite sum that up, because if you've already paid for the server, it's just, you know, if you get yourself kicked off, we don't owe you your money back. And then, obviously, for becoming a Patreon of me, for any amount, you'll have access to the patron-only chat. So that's a new chat on our Discord for the patrons only, of $1 or more or anything. $10 or more will get you a new, let me talk about this in a second here. $10 or more will get you linked in the credits of my channel at the end of my videos. So this is also kind of a Patreon update because I've added this new $5 tier. This used to be the tier for getting at the end of my videos, but I've reworked this. So if you become a patron, opening's October 2nd, you can kind of apply or get on the server here. And then I've updated the Minerva VIP to give names at the end of my videos. And then I've kind of adjusted a lot of these these later credits. Like the $50 or more month used to be viewing my videos early if ever I had like a backup or a backlog or something, but that's kind of irrelevant because I share sneak peeks and stuff in Discord all the time because I like to just hang out with people. So Spectate Minerva is the new one, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit. Like, it's not a marketplace. I don't think it's $50 worth to come on Minerva in spectator mode while we're playing and whatnot. But this $50 would go towards, you know, the server, the dedicated server that runs Minerva, and the Patreon server, and the other stuff. And this $50 also goes towards supporting me. So it's not all about spectating Minerva. It's just a reward for a high tier. And then of course that includes everything else underneath. And then you guys can check out my Patreon for more information on that. So next, just an idea I wanted to float was the weekly streams idea. So I figured I'll stream, maybe not on a schedule, but somewhat regularly, just to, you know, shout out the patron server, play with you guys, join like the patron-only speaking channel. Maybe we can hang out and have a good time with patrons only, making like a patron stream. And I think that could be pretty fun, depending on what you guys got going on. So, continuing on this being the Minerva seed, like this is obviously, this landscape right here, obviously on the main Minerva world actually has a giant, you know, the Ruby Center inside it, and the slime farm over there, and all this is completely dug out, but you guys get to start from scratch. You guys get to do whatever you want, and I wanted to issue some challenges, not super official ones, but little stuff, like we had an iron farm up within about 2 or 3 hours. Can you guys do better? The reason we were able to do this is right past this Guardian Temple. It's a spruce forest with a spruce village, so you guys can go in, steal the villagers, and see if you guys can get that set up in no time. A chicken farm was soon to follow, and we had wood within the first afternoon, so maybe you guys can do the same. It's sort of a survival island seed, in fact, and there are a lot of Guardian Temples. Maybe you guys can build bases. You do you. And the other thing I wanted to announce is something a little bit of a wild card. This is something I didn't mention in past videos, and that is a patron anarchy server. So this was inspired from a comment I got where somebody said that they would pledge $10 or more a month to get on the anarchy server. And because an anarchy server is crazy laggy and you can do whatever you want in an anarchy server, I am going to raise it to $10 per month. So if anybody's interested in that, you can, obviously it'll be up October 2nd. This will be a little bit interesting because it'll be hosted on our cubed host server. So when Minerva moved over to a dedicated host, we kind of left our old server in the dust. This one right here, Minerva Survival Farm Everything. This has actually been hosting my old, this world. This is the world before Minerva Season 1, so this is kind of the world that we all played on together before we named ourselves Minerva and moved on to future worlds and what you see today. Like, this was made by a friend, she doesn't play anymore. This was made by me and a guy I don't talk to anymore. Like, this is just an old world. And a part of me was considering opening the Anarchy server on here. Maybe you guys want to tear through all our stuff and loot Beast's Cave and whatnot. You guys can see that right over here. So let me just mute Discord. Yeah, maybe I should mute Discord when I start recording these videos. And that kind of sums it up. So hopefully this was good. I think let me just check on my list here. Yep, okay, so I think I covered everything on my list. Opening October 2nd, $5 per month, $10 per month will get you on this server and the Anarchy server, plus everything in the Minerva VIP. I think that just about covers it. So, if you have any questions, ask in the comments below. Check out the Minerva Discord for I don't know, talking to us, getting in the patrons chat, getting more information, contact me directly on there, and that should cover everything. So hope you guys enjoyed this Patreon update video. This should be the official announcement, giving you guys all the details on everything that will be a part of the server. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching.